Former San Diego Mayor Bob Filner pleaded guilty in court this week. What punishment he will face?
The government is back to work for now. Could a permanent deal be in place?
And a local wildlife refuge fights for more than just animal survival, what they need to do in order to keep its doors open.
Fall weather has arrived. What does that mean for you at home, San Diego? Newscene begins right now.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newscene. I'm Nate Holmes.
And I'm Sarah Coffey. Thank you for joining us.
And former San Diego Mayor Bob Filner resigned from office this year, stemming from sexual harassment allegations. Earlier this week, Filner pleaded guilty in court. Astra Mendez Medina, is here with the latest.
That's right, Nate, Sarah. Last year in November, the city of San Diego elected Bob Filner as the next mayor to lead the city. What transpired after that was a public sexual harassment scandal, which forced the mayor to resign. Bob Filner is now facing bigger problems. Earlier this week, Filner pleaded guilty to one felony count of false imprisonment by violence and two misdemeanor counts for battery for sexually harassing three women while in office.
Guilty, sir. Guilty, sir.
How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Also guilty, sir.
The plea agreement states the former mayor will be placed on 3 years probation with no jail time, but will spend 3 months on home confinement. Filner will also be required to undergo mental health treatment while on probation, and if he violates his probation, he could face up to 6 months in prison. The Attorney General's office says Filner will never be able to seek or hold public office. As of right now, Filner is free until his sentencing hearing on December 9th. As you can imagine, Nate and Kisara, a lot of people here in San Diego were surprised when Filner actually pleaded guilty to the charges, but now he has to face this.
Yeah, it was a big surprise to hear he pleaded guilty, and we'll look forward to hearing the latest. Thank you, Astrid.
Thank you. The San Diego Police Association has endorsed former Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher's bid for mayor. The association's president, Brian Marvel, says the problems facing the city demand strong leadership and the ability to bring people together on solving tough issues. He is also citing Fletcher's draft on legislation to improve public safety. Mayoral candidate and city councilman Kevin Faulkner is also vying for the association's endorsement. A former Marine, Fletcher released a plan addressing pay, staffing, and recruiting issues. A mentoring program and academy recruits and lower out-of-pocket healthcare costs are also included in the draft.
And MCAS Miramar is footing a hefty bill after a last-minute cancellation of the annual air show. According to the numbers, the base has to pay back at least $600,000. The majority of the money is contract reimbursement to vendors and performers. The show usually makes a profit, which is used to help support military families. The event was supposed to happen on October 4th, but was canceled the day before the government shutdown.
After 16 days of disputes, the government is back in business, for now. This week, Democrats and Republicans ended their congressional stalemate, agreeing to lift the government shutdown. Hours later, President Obama signed the measurement, which funds the government through early January. It also raises the debt ceiling through February, preventing the United States from defaulting on its loans. But the agreement is only a temporary solution. Pete Haro, professor of political science here at City College, says the U.S. financial crisis impacts the economy on a global level.
So much of the world's economy is tied into the U.S. economy. If people, investors, don't view United States bonds as a safe investment, they stop buying them. What that also means too is that foreign investors may look to other currencies other than the dollar as a safe investment.
President Obama is confident the U.S. will remain a global economic leader, and another shutdown in the near future is doubtful.
Uganda is on red alert after the U.S. warns of a possible terror threat. The U.S. Embassy in Kampala issued the alert earlier this week. One of the U.S. officials told CNN message was sent out of the abundance of caution. The embassy in Kampala is urging Americans to who are traveling to the country or living there to register with the state's department's Travelers Enrollment Program. The U.S. is still checking to see if the information has any truth behind it.
Muslim clerics in war-torn Syria have issued a ruling allowing citizens to eat cats and dogs. This is to help them to stop from starving from death. Forces loyal to Syrian President Assad have blocked off roads, stopping supplies from reaching suburbs around Damascus. The ruling came during the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Adha, which is often celebrated with feasting. Syrian clerics say this is a cry for help to the international communities, as some citizens have already died of starvation.
According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the ongoing Haiti cholera outbreak is the worst epidemic in recent history. As of August 2013, it has killed at least 8,200 Haitians and hospitalized hundreds of thousands more. Human rights activists are now suing the UN, who they believe is responsible for the outbreak. The United Nations issued an appeal for the nearly $160 million fight to the spread of the disease.
A dangerous flesh-eating drug has made its way to the U.S. Crocodile is a highly addictive intravenous drug that causes zombie-like reactions in people. The drug causes damages to the veins and is followed by gangrene, making the skin green and scaly. The drug originated in Russia, but so far there are no confirmed cases in the U.S. However, similar symptoms have been reported in hospital cases in Illinois, Arizona, and Oklahoma. The drug is dangerous and extremely deadly.
A Missouri prosecutor who dropped charges in a controversial rape case has asked that a special prosecutor take another look. Charges were dropped against the high school football player accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl last January. This week, Daisy Coleman spoke out on national news, saying she was raped and dumped in front of her yard after attending a party.
After we snuck out, we got into this car where Matt picked us up. And he drove us to his house, and we snuck into his house through his basement window. And I went to go sit on the couch, and he gave me a big glass of a clear liquid. And that's all I remember.
The alleged attacker, Matt Barnett, told authorities it was consensual. The prosecutor dropped all charges after he says Coleman and her relatives refused to cooperate in an investigation.
An American nun who devoted 30 years of service to inmates in Tijuana jail passed away yesterday. Mary Brenner became Mother Antonia at age 50 after having 7 children from previous marriages. She founded a new order called Eudice Servants of the 11th Hour for older women who want to serve the poor. She left her wealthy lifestyle to live in a jail cell, where she helped stop riots and helped prisoners with needs and special requests. Due to health problems, she had recently moved out of the prison, but still ministered to inmates.
Hundreds of San Diegans hit the street in high heels earlier this week. We'll tell you why.
Mexico's national team advances to the World Cup. Find out which team they had to beat to get there. What was